Yo, what it is, what it do. Welcome to the latest episode of the Simply Ball Dropper podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap, and where we do sports, hot topics, roundtable talk, and the marriage chronicles. Once you come across this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I see all your comments down in the comments section. I reply to all of them. Hashtag salute. Well, today's episode, we got to talk about this, man. We got to keep our eye on a story that's developing out of Buffalo. This was leading into the new NFL season with Stefon Diggs, the cryptic tweets that he had on his X account coming into the season. He's growing visibly frustrated with things that are transpiring in Buffalo. For the last 3 years he's been in Buffalo. I mean, that team has been on the cusp of getting out of that AFC, and they just can't get over the hump. And he's getting visibly frustrated. And it's not about the frustration that he's showing towards the team, but I think he's getting visually frustrated with the quarterback play of Josh Allen. Josh Allen is a great quarterback, but in crunch time, he's just not getting it done. He can't get him over the hump. Before we get off into it, the show is sponsored by...
This episode is sponsored by True Choice Insurance. Here at True Choice, we take a different philosophy when it comes to providing you with your insurance options. We emphasize the value of the products we offer, instead of playing on the fear of you not being protected in your time of need. True Choice is affiliated with more than 60 insurance companies. This makes us one of the most independent agencies in the state of Texas. Please visit TrueChoiceInsurance.com for all your insurance needs.
Shout out to my man Brian Kelly and his wife over at True Choice Insurance. Visit them guys on www.truechoiceinsurance.com for all your insurance needs and tell them K-Sap sent you. Well, today's episode, I'm not going to, take too much of your time. A highly anticipated game last night between the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. The storyline heading into this game was all about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, coming into this offseason, he signed the contract with the Jets. He brought along some of the personnel that he was comfortable with, and Randall Cobb and Alan Lazard. And, he was in the best shape. He said he was in the best shape of his career. But as you get older, 39 years old, I think Aaron Rodgers is about 39 years old, highly anticipated over the summer. He was talking to the press. He was doing all these things in New York City, in and out of different sporting events, talking to the people. So the city of New York, with the New York Jets fan base, has been highly anticipating, what Aaron Rodgers was going to bring to the table. From last year's play with their quarterback, Zach Wilson, the Jets defense is up there. They're rated. They got probably top 3 defense in the league outside of the Dallas Cowboys, because the Cowboys started off, on a high. So right now, I think with the Jets defense and, the anticipation of Aaron Rodgers coming in playing quarterback, they had Super Bowl aspirations. But with all the hoopla and the whirlwind surrounding around that game yesterday, and Aaron Rodgers took the field, the momentum, it was 9-1-1, great tribute to, 9-1-1, the national anthem. Everybody was in tune into that. Some people was crying, it was a flashback, it was memories. So the city of New York was electrified last night. And what other ways to bring some satisfaction to the city of New York after 22 years since 9/11 has happened. And Aaron Rodgers took the field, and 4 plays into his tenure with the New York Jets, it ended just that quick. And when I saw the play, I thought it was, like a leg injury. Didn't know if it was an ankle injury, but when they slowed it down, you actually could see that Achilles pop. Aaron Rodgers knew it was bad because he got up, looked over to the sideline, had his hands on his hip, and the thing about it is he just sat back down. And then we went into the blue tent. They brought the cart over. I knew it was bad. But outside of that, the storyline that we're looking at, the Buffalo Bills should have capitalized off that. and they couldn't capitalize off of that. You let New York hang around. Zach Wilson came in there, and, you know, he did some things. He did have a pick, but you got to understand something. When he threw that pick, you know, the team, you know, still rallied behind him. And what I see in Zach Wilson is, you know, he's not the guy that's going to get him over the hump. And on the flip side, Buffalo should have took advantage of that. And they couldn't take advantage of that. And things just went downhill from there. You could see sometimes on the sideline that Stefon Diggs was, you know, talking to Josh Allen. And the crazy thing about it is, you know, Josh Allen, I've always said, man, he's a good quarterback, but he's not a great quarterback. He makes too many mistakes. I mean, he runs reckless. I mean, he's a big dude. He never wants to get down and slide. He always want to take his opponent out. But as a quarterback, you got to preserve yourself. And they had opportunities last night. Stefon Diggs was getting open. You know, he beat Sauce Gardner a couple of times. And, you know, his touchdown, Josh Allen did throw a touchdown to Stefon Diggs. But in that game, he had 3 picks. What we're going to do here is I'm going to play a clip of what Stefon Diggs said in his, you know, post-game press conference leading up to, you know, the Monday night game and some of the things that he said coming into the season. So y'all take a listen, and when we get back, we'll get off into it.
Well, I mean, you know, Coach had came up and he said that he misspoke. Like, I don't know if anybody has a family here. Everybody has family issues. Everybody has family problems in the house. Like, I was here. I did have a conversation with Coach, you know, and I like to keep things in-house. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a player in this, I've been in the league. I'm going on my 9th year right now. You know what I'm saying? I got more football behind me than I do in front of me. My main focus and my only focus is winning. Super Bowls is I mean, everybody say they want a Super Bowl, but we've had legitimate chances at this thing. Like, we've had the team, we've had the coaches, we've had everything that we needed. And as far as us not getting over the hump, I feel like it's always asked for a cause for a conversation. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to have a conversation, and we have an open door policy. Coach will tell you he has an open door policy, and I've had those conversations. So I try to keep a lot of things in-house. But, you know what I'm saying, it's regarding last year, obviously the way we lost was just terrible in any regard. You know, you don't want to lose any game, but we've lost for a couple years at this point. And we've been trying to get over the hump, and obviously it calls for a lot of frustration. But all in all, like, as far as with that, I was here, but he did have a conversation. Me and him did have a conversation. It's all water under the bridge now, but I attribute it to, like, I mean, family matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like dancing around things. I don't like those kind of questions. Black and white is everybody has family matters. We had a conversation. Everything is all is well. Water under the bridge. Now we back at work, and you know, I look at football. You know, it's kind of hard. It's a business at the end of the day, but when you go out there and you fight tooth and nail, you put a lot of sweat equity into this thing, it starts to feel like a family. So for me, I kind of keep everything in-house, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we had those conversations. Everything that needed to be said was said, and we talked it out as men, everybody involved.
John, you didn't talk about lingering issues from last year. Yeah. Where is your headspace at on that?
I don't know if you get too many more questions, because you're a little...
Well, no.
The questions aren't as... I'm kidding. I'm only kidding. Go ahead.
No, you talked about lingering issues, frustrations from last year, whether it's your role in the offense or having more say in the offense.
Yeah, that is insane. Like, for me, like, even...
Josh said.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, for me to just want more say in the offense is crazy, because I play receiver. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what play is called. You know what I'm saying? I can't get up here and say, call this. Like, it's a lot of outlandish, obvious things where people were throwing out there, or people were saying, like, as far as, like my role, like, I've been a captain on this team for 3 years. There's no question about my role and who I am as a player, how hard I work. Like, those things never had question marks, and you can't say the same thing for a lot of people in.
So you guys heard what Stefon Diggs had to say. The reporter was asking me questions. He said he don't like beating around the bush. But if you listen to his soundbite, you know, he really was beating around the bush. I mean, just come out and say that, you know, it's your quarterback play, because the quarterback is the leader of the team and he's getting you downfield. I go back to when he was in Minnesota, you know, the issues he's had with Kirk Cousins, you know, and he wanted out of Minnesota. But basically, you got to read the writings on the wall, because every time that he goes to his X account, he has to defend the rumors, and he tries to put it to bed, but you're the one that's sending these cryptic tweets. So we got to keep an eye on that. You could see last night's game, you know, he was visually frustrated, even though he had 10 catches for 102 yards and a touchdown. He played well, but a high prolific receiver like that, you know, like he said, he can't call the plays, but this guy knows how to get open. But the thing about Josh Allen, he forces the ball a lot. Last night, he had 236 yards passing. He had 1 TD, but he had 3 picks. And he had 3 picks to the same guy. Jordan Whitehead picked him off 3 times. You know, that's unacceptable. 3 picks by the same guy. So that tells me you're forcing. So if you go back, you know, they had opportunities to win that game. But, you know, you got to keep an eye on this story, man, because Stefon Diggs is getting frustrated. And if you go and look into that drive that they marched downfield to send it into overtime after, you know, Garrett Wilson, you know, made that spectacular catch to put him up, and they got to march downfield to tie the game up to send it into overtime. You could see when Stefon Diggs was talking to Josh Allen on the sideline, man, you got to calm down. You could probably read his lips like, man, calm down, man. Think. You gotta think. You gotta be smart. So that goes to show in a nutshell that, you know, he's getting frustrated. So if you notice going down on that drive, every play that was Stefon Diggs, and he marched them all the way down. But on that 3rd down conversion, because they was in position to score, not just to settle for a field goal. They was in a position to score. And he forced it into Stefon Diggs. He never let Stefon Diggs come out of his route, and he overshot him. But, you know, you got to keep an eye on that. So, you know, Josh Allen, he got to clean some things up, man. But Stefon Diggs he's been saying that for the 3 years that he's been there, because, like he said, he's been on that team had aspirations of Super Bowl, and they come up short every time. So it's devastating. He's frustrated. He just wants to win. He's been there 3 years and going on his 4th year. You know, he wants to get it done. But if your quarterback continues to play like that, you know, you're not going to get out of the AFC. And then it went into overtime, and then, you know, your special teams, you give up a touchdown punt return to Xavier Gibson. I mean, it's crazy. So it's, you know, we got to keep an eye on this, man. You know, Stefon Diggs, I've known him. He's from the hometown. He played with my Minnesota Vikings. And when he gets frustrated, you know, he wanted out of Minnesota. You know, he wanted out of Minnesota because of the role. He thought his role was diminishing, and, you know, argued about Kirk Cousins' quarterback play. And things just didn't transpire the way they wanted. After the Minnesota Miracle, when we beat New Orleans, you know, things kind of went downhill from there. And then you got to look at it. You had a rising star in Justin Jefferson come in and, you know, was starting to get to shine. Adam Thielen. So Stefon Diggs thought his role diminished, and he wanted out of Minnesota. Once he thinks his role was diminishing, he wants out. But the quarterback play got to be better. Got to be better. So you guys, let me know down in the comments what you think. Keep your eye on this story. When the story breaks, I'm going to give it to you, and I want y'all to let everybody know that Simply Ball Dropping Podcast broke the story first. But keep your eye on this story. Like I said, I appreciate everybody that's tuned in. You know my mantra, tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. Also, keep commenting. I do feature comments on episodes of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
Another one.